Basically, digitalization is actually to support you in efficiency, getting the data transparency, and finally, to boost your top and bottom line. So when I have many digitalized process and I apply it across my entire organization, that is when I'm moving on towards the digital transformation age. I think this picture is very familiar with everybody, okay? So what is driving digitalization? So Industry 4.0, you got cloud, you got automation, you got internet, machine learning, you got digital. Everything today is driving this whole process. Maybe it is somewhat related. I was in Korea a few months back. On the train, I was standing, the only one standing in one of the cabin, and all the seats were taken. In front of me, 9 people. Behind me, 9 people. And all of them are doing one thing in common. Do you know what is that? The handphones. Yeah? All 15 of them were doing the same thing on the handphone. But except one person is not on the handphone. So make a guess that one person, what is that person doing? The person is sleeping. Yeah? So you can actually see that this form of IT age is here to stay. If you don't embrace it, you'll be called ancient, historical, you know. So it is time that we embrace it and know more about this thing. So leading to this, we want to know why do I need to use digital transformation into my business? Because your business is dynamic. I think the earlier speaker mentioned about the trends today. So people likes to eat a particular type of noodle with a flavor, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon to produce it. And similarly, when the trend change, they jump onto the next bandwagon. So your business is dynamic. And to be able to fulfill this dynamic business, your facility has to be dynamic as well. Because we need to react to an ever-changing development. So lots of words here, okay? To summarize, basically, your facility are complex ecosystem. It has a brain of itself. It has a mind of itself, yeah? But their performance actually affect more than just a utility bill. It affects more than that, okay? What does it affect? It affects your property value. Imagine if I have a property and I want to sell it off. If the property is well maintained, it has the intelligence, I'm able to sell it at a higher value, yeah? And it affects the productivity of the occupants. Imagine this example. In a financial banking sector, yeah, I was told that comfort is the #1 priority for all their traders, because when they are comfortable, they are alert, they are able to trade better. Okay? So, different industry requires different priorities. So, one of these is occupant productivity. And then the next one is actually improving your bottom line. Just now we say top and bottom line. So that is also part of the process. But I want to bring you to this chart on the right side. Okay? The center one. It says 82%. If you can't read it, I read it for you. When I do periodic maintenance, monthly maintenance, what am I reducing? I'm only reducing 18% of the faults. Because 18% of faults are age-related. The other 82% are actually random. anything can happen. Have you ever encountered, yesterday I serviced my car, and the next day I need to drive it back again? Yeah? So there are such faults that are random. So we need something to be able to help us predict, to so-called forecast when such happenings occur. So introducing one of the many portfolios that we have. Just now we talked about Power Advisor, talk about Asset Advisor. This is Building Advisor. Lots of words here. I will focus on the main one. I think one of the reasons why I'm not going to go through all the slides is to let you have questions so that later you can go to our booth to ask questions. Okay? So over here, we talk about data modeling. Okay? Have you ever heard about digital twin? Okay? So basically, this advisor is actually using the digital twin data modeling process, whereby I have your design requirements, what my design was, what's the performance that was required, and from there, I compare it with the actual data, and from here, I can actually derive whether my building is performing or not. Okay? And two unique factors here is actually we talk about continuous monitoring-based commissioning. Okay? And then the other one is actually automatic fault detection diagnostic. So the difference between this advisor and probably some of the other advisor is that it has a automatic analytics. When data comes in, basically it will run through all the rules to provide you the findings. Okay? So these are the key pointers of this building advisor. And this is what is the portfolio that will accompany you as part of this digital transformation journey. So why do we use it? This is very familiar, I assume, to a lot of you. Okay? In the past, and probably today, we talk about reactive maintenance. When my car breaks down, then I go to the mechanic. When my equipment fails, then I call the technician to come and service it. Okay? That is reactive. That's a traditional approach. And probably today, some plants are still using this approach. And then we move on, we evolve. We look at proactive approach, which is what is a lot of companies are using today. I sign maintenance contract. Yeah? I ask for regular maintenance. But the strategy of this is only to correct root cause and avoid breakdowns. Just as I mentioned, I can only avoid 18%. Okay? So the 82% are random. But remember this new word, condition-based. Okay? Condition-based. So imagine I have a car, and I think this is not new actually. I think one of the big brands of car, they have this, whereby the performance of the car is actually, the data is actually uploaded to the cloud. And instead of sending my car for servicing every 6 months, every 3 months, whether I use it or not, should be gone sooner or later. It should be based on, I send my car for servicing when I really use it, right? So that is what we call by condition-based. I only do maintenance when the actual performance is starting to show sign of dropping, okay? Or when there are signs of upcoming failure. So that is condition-based, and that is just in time, okay? So remember this word. This is an upcoming word. In fact, it is already in the market. So this is why we use it. And this data numbers here are not plucked out of the air. These are data that we have from almost 900 buildings across 10 countries for a period of 12 to 18 months. So it is aggregated, and we have seen a reduction of 29% in unscheduled maintenance. 29%. I think in the F&B industry, even 1% will have a tremendous effect. Okay? So 29%. This is across various industry. You got hospital, you got hotels, you got commercial buildings, you got manufacturing. Okay? And you have a reduction of 33% of complaints. This complaint is more of occupant comfort, right? And there is a up to 20% reduction in energy. Okay? So 20% is not a lot. But look at the payback. So this is another example that we have. This is one of the buildings that we have in Europe. Basically, we have 557 HVAC assets. And what did we found? We have found 1,500 maintenance issues, out of which 600 are rated priority 6 and above. Okay, priority 6 means I have a priority from 0 to 10. 10 meaning is the most serious. So 60%, almost 30% of issues found are critical enough for me to take action. And then there's a reduction of 1,800 help desk tickets. People complain that this aircon is not working, it's not cold, there's noise and this and that. Yeah? Reduction of 1,800. But the most interesting one is actually on the energy cost reduction. They actually save 92,000 pounds. Okay? That's absolute number. But look at the ROI. The ROI is only 4 months. That means this building has been performing inefficiently for many years until we brought this thing in. So in 4 months, I have a payback. So this payback of 4 months, this saving of 92,000 is going to be with me throughout. Okay? So these data are not plucked out of the air again. This is provided by the customer after 12 months of monitoring. So in every factory or in every building, how do I know which asset I need to prioritize? I have, imagine in my maintenance team, I have 5 technicians, but I got 10 issues. So how do I know which one to go? Anybody just take 2 each, you know? Or should I prioritize them in terms of urgency and in terms of criticality? Okay? And if for those people who know aircon, you look at this chart, I tell you, I spent like almost 2 weeks because nobody explained this chart to me, although I'm aircon trained. I know, I understand aircon, but it took 2 weeks for me to understand this. Okay? So from here, it tells me that to enhance my occupants' experience, from this chart, I can see that the room temperature is above the optimal set point for more than 1.5 hours. So if I have something to tell me that in 10 minutes or in half an hour when this thing happened, I would be able to rectify this fault immediately. And then maybe this person will not complain. Imagine this is serving to your boss' room. It will be, there will be issues. Okay? So enhancing the occupant's experience, giving the work priority. Okay, so reducing costs. I think in a lot of countries, I'm in the Singapore office. So a lot of my colleagues from Europe in US, they will always say, coming to Singapore, I need to bring a jacket. But Singapore is 365 days summer, but they still need to bring a jacket. You know? So the question here is the air temperature at set point? So from here, I can actually see that this is not performing. Why? Because it tells me that the temperature is fluctuating, right? And there can be many, many faults here. If you ask someone with an aircon experience, he looks at this. I tell you, he won't know where to start also. When I look at this, I also don't know where to start. Probably I will say, let's check the sensor, see whether anything wrong. Yeah. But using analytics, I can provide many different analysis. From here, I can say that the humidity sensor may cause some error, yeah, or even the valve is leaking. The valve is leaking. That's why the temperature is not meeting, okay? Or even the temperature sensor has a fault, or altogether the control logic is wrong, yeah? So there is many type of errors in that. But which one should I go? So analytics tells me all the possible faults, and I can actually look at all the possible causes, and one by one I can take them off. So improving maintenance. Have you, using the same analogy with the aircon, yeah? If I change my temperature set point from 21 degrees to 24 degrees, with every degree change, I can save a lot of energy. I don't know the number, I forgot the number, but definitely it's a substantial number, okay? So when I look at this, it tells me a lot of things, right? It tells me whether I'm overcooling in the aircon system. Am I providing too much aircon? So from here, I can see maybe it's a temperature sensor error. Or worse still, I can have a flow meter error. Because when I talk about control system, I need data to be able to help me to control certain things. When I feel hot, I turn on the aircon. When I feel cold, I increase my set point. This is the analogy. I need data. So for the aircon to have more chill water, I need to know what is the temperature, right? Or what is the flow rate. So imagine if all my sensor is giving a bit of problem, my aircon unit will be providing overcooling. Imagine this overcooling can be interpreted to money because I'm wasting energy. It can be interpreted as my equipment, I don't need to run so often because every equipment has a lifespan. So after how many run hours, probably it's due for replacement. So instead of running the equipment for 10 years, if I overrun it, maybe in 7 years, I need to replace it. Okay, so that is improving the maintenance and thus having more savings. So besides the examples, the analytics should also provide you asset performance. So look at the QR code, very famous QR codes already. So in today's context, a lot of equipment have a QR code on the panel so that for the maintenance, I don't need to carry a file to the equipment and look at the manual. Instead, using a QR code, I can actually get the documentation online. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah? And using the QR code, I can look at all the maintenance records. Okay? So tracking the assets performance. And from here, you can actually, we will have like reports. Reports on the performance, reports on the analytics, reports on open tasks. If you have a maintenance crew, definitely you'll be assigning tasks to them to solve the problems. So are they performing? Are they finishing the task? What's the status of the task? And in closing, I'm pretty quick. I took only like, 25 minutes. So this is, if you look at this, this is my closing slide. Okay, very interesting slide. First, look at data. Okay, data is nothing but data, unless you can get some information out of it. But getting information out of it, you need to have some expertise to understand this information. Okay? And once I understand this information, am I able to derive some insights? Some potential insights that I can take action on. Only after taking action will I see the effect. If I don't see the effect, you can remove everything, leave only data. Because that's the only thing that you have. So remember, big data is really big. But what is the purpose of big data? It's so that you can go through this whole process to get the effect out of big data. Okay, so like what I said, I have left a lot of blanks throughout the whole presentation. See you at booth number 10. Okay, so before I end, I usually say, is there any question? But I'm not going to say that. Thank you very much.